In the student or teacher-focused lesson, we'll reflect on our personal aspirations and critically evaluate the role of education in helping them achieve their goals. Our goal is to answer the question, what do we value as learners? And to do that, we'll start by answering another question. Who do you hope to be when you're 30 years old? Note that this question isn't purely occupational. Rather, we're focused on every element of being a human being. Consider what your overall goals might be, from relationships to lifestyle to academics and more. And then let's watch this clip from academic critic Alfie Kohn.
One thing I like to do on a regular basis is to ask a deceptively simple question. And that question is, if you are a parent, what is your long-term goal? Your single most important outcome that you wish for your child or children? And if you are an educator, and some of you are both, I recognize, what is your overriding hope for your students? If there were a single adjective you would think of that described the kind of people you would hope your kids would turn out to be, take just a moment to see if there is a word that captures what your fondest hope is for how your kids turn out after they've grown up and possibly even left home. Anybody want to raise a hand and propose one? Yes? The big triple L. Thank you. We'll start out that way. Thank you. Yes? Inspired. You'd like your kids to be inspired. Okay. Yes?
Agents of change.
Agents of change. Thank you. Yes? Fulfilled. All right. Yes?
Love of learning.
To have a love of learning. All right. So we have that ratified by a second person. Thank you. Yes?
Resourceful.
Okay. And one more? Yes? Self-directed. All right. Let's leave it there, and I will ask you to think about the list as a whole. We, as a community gathered here, at least for this evening, want our children to be happy and have a sense of well-being, to be fulfilled people. We also want them to be good people, people who are empowered, who are authentic and self-directed. We want them to have a love of learning and also to be resourceful enough, presumably, to act on that. Not only to be inspired, but to be agents of change for others who are thriving people, curious, creative, and kind. I have done this activity literally hundreds of times, including this afternoon and last night, but stretching back many, many years for many kinds of audiences. Teachers, administrators, and parents of younger children and older children in private schools and public schools, in secular and religious places, in urban, suburban, and rural neighborhoods. And almost all the items on this list show up almost all the time. There's a significant degree of consensus, and not once has anybody said, I want my kid early admission to Stanford, I want my kid driving a Tesla and having a summer house. Nobody ever says that. Now, it is possible that that's what people really want, and they are just too embarrassed to say it out loud. Or it may be that even the people we think of that way, who are particularly conventional and materialistic, nevertheless, when asked to think in broader, deeper terms about their long-term objectives for children, think, no, what I really care about is a kid who is creative or kind or happy or empowered or something like that.
Consider, does this video clip resonate with you? Why or why not? And how does this relate to what you've just reflected on? Do you believe school is preparing you or prepared you to meet your goals by the time that you were 30? Or if you're not 30 yet? Many students and teachers may be focused on Alfie Kohn's monetary achievement metrics. Many people desire, for example, high GPAs, college preparedness, or material goods. That shouldn't be dismissed or painted poorly, because any educational outcome could be desired as long as the student is the one making those choices. We just have to ensure that students actually want those things and don't feel pressured by some form of outside force. In other words, it's perfectly valid to want to achieve things. However, how often are those goals actually set by students as opposed to being set by someone else? That's where the next discussion comes in. Let's consider, are you the one who wants to see these goals fulfilled? What outside forces may shape who we want to be? Are there any potential negative outcomes of our culture and learning? And what can this classroom do to help realize our potential? All of this information could be recorded in some form of lesson, showing what students and teachers discuss and utilize this information to co-create lesson plans, units, or norms within a classroom. It's a useful pedagogical tool to refer back to these ideas, reinforcing that our goals are to envision their aspirations, not a predetermined expectation set by the school.